Hello kids, Namaste. I'm Gayatri Aunty, one of the art teachers in Bal-Vihar. And as you all know, every year we make a Diya project just before Diwali so you can use your beautifully handcrafted Diyas for the Diwali Puja in your home. So today I will be showing you all steps to make Diya out of model magic. So you get model magic in various colors. The tool that you need is the toothpick. And the good thing about model magic is it's very light. Of course, you get it in various colors and you don't have to bake it. You just make your diya and leave it out to dry for a day and it's hard. And for those who have just the white model magic, you can always use a marker to color the model magic before you make the diya, or you can use the marker to decorate the model magic diya after you make it. Here I've kept ready all the pieces that we need to make the model magic Ganesha diya. I have rolled separate pieces for head, body, trunk, 2 each for hands, legs and ears. And here I have a few extras which I will use for the crown and the jewels. And I'm using the white model magic for diya so I can show you the decoration with markers. Let's start with the body. I'm smoothing the dough to make a nice soft smooth ball, and the headpiece I'm smoothing it as well, and I'm just going to stick it on top. This model magic sticks pretty easily. As you can see, it doesn't fall off, it sticks pretty well. So there it is. Now next is the trunk. So for the trunk, I'm taking the third little piece and I'm going to make it into a cylinder like shape to make it look like the trunk. There I've got a decent size cylinder like shape, and I'm going to flatten the top a little bit so I can stick this top to the face. And if you want, you can elongate the trunk slightly longer to give it a curved shape. So here is the body and the head, and I'm going to stick the trunk right on top, right there. And you can see the side of the trunk is curved, and I'm going to smoothen it. There you have the trunk, the head and the body. Now next we will do the legs. So the same process, smoothen the leg piece and slightly elongate it, very slightly, because you're going to have nice chunky legs, maybe a little conical, slightly conical, thicker on top, slightly thin at the bottom. And I'm going to stick it to the side. Now if you have any trouble sticking the pieces, what you can do is with the toothpick make a few marks so you have a bit of rough edge on both the pieces. So I've made a few rough marks on the body, and I'll do the same thing with the leg piece. I'm making a few rough edges so I can stick the rough edges together, and if I press it slightly so as to not mess the shape of it, here, there, one side feet is ready. Now I'm going to take the other piece for the feet, smoothen it in the same slightly conical shape, and with the toothpick I'm going to make a few rough edges so it can stick more easily. The same thing, slightly few rough edges on this side to stick the feet, and there we go. You have the feet in place, and if you want, you can smoothen the edges on the back to make sure it's tight and doesn't come off. Don't press it too hard, or else the round shape of Ganesha would change. There you have the feet all done. Next we have the two pieces for the arms. So again I'm going to do a conical shape, and the tip of one side I'm going to press it to look like the hand. There you go. All I did was just press it to look like the hand. And the same thing, I'm going to make slight rough lines on both the Ganesha and this handpiece and stick it there. That's the right hand of Ganesha, where he is always blessing. So that is the right hand with his palm up, right? Now for the other hand. The same thing, try to keep it to the same size. I've made the same conical shape and I'm going to press the tip to make it like a palm where it's going to be holding the laddu. So again, a few rough lines on this, on the hand piece, and a few rough lines over here on the body where I'm going to stick the hand. And there we have the hands, the feet, the trunk, the head and the body all in place. And there you have, already you can see the shape of Ganesha coming along. Next, we're going to do the ears. So we have the two red ones. So I'm just going to make a smooth ball and flatten it to a nice big circle. And I'm just trying to straighten one end of the circle. As you can see, it's like a bean shape. There. And I'm going to stick the ear to the side. There you go. And the next piece, the same thing, I'm going to flatten it and straighten one side slightly so I can stick that side to the body, to the head. And I am going to put it right there. There you have Ganesha almost done. And now I have this little blue piece which I'm going to make the crown. It's just going to be a basic triangle. So flatten it again, and then I'm going to straighten one end so it can rest on the head, and I'm going to make it like a triangle right there, a little triangle, and I'm going to place it right there on the head. And there you have, you can always smoothen it and see that it is nicely attached on all sides, the back, the front, on all the sides, so that it doesn't come out and it sticks nice and tight. And there you have. The other little blue is going to be the laddu in his hand, or you can do a modak which is slightly pointed, and there he has the laddu in his hand. Now with this other little blue, I am going to make his two tiny eyes, or you can always do it with a marker. Just because I have the colored clay, I'm going to do it with the color. And right there, one eye, and try to make it as symmetrical as possible. And there he has the other one. Two eyes. Of course, you can also make the tusks, and I am going to put, how about trying to make tusk? Let me take the little orange to make the tusk, just so that it's more colorful. A very tiny bit of orange. A little tusk right there. You see that little tusk? That's on one side, and here we have another little one, a very tiny circle which I'm making into a small cylinder like thing, and I'm going to stick it in that position. Ooh. Right there. I'm going to take the help of the toothpick to get it in place. Right there. And there it is. And if you want a nice big tilak, the tilak would be nice in red, so I'm going to take a little bit more of the red that I have, a very tiny dot, a very tiny dot of red, and I'm going to make a nice big tilak. There he is. Ganesha is all ready, and the next step is going to be the diya where we're going to place him. Now for the diya, I'm taking the white Model Magic and I've made it into a smooth ball, and I'm going to flatten it just slightly. So you can see it's flat enough, a nice big circle, because you want it big enough for the Ganesha to be able to sit inside the diya, right? So I'm going to flatten it even more and trying to make a cup-like shape by slightly pushing the edges inside with my thumb. So I'm slightly pushing it to make it into a cup shape. As you can see, the cup shape is coming along, right? So I'm going to make it into a cup shape, making sure that my little Ganesha fits inside the diya, right? So I am going to make slightly larger cup so I can have the nose of the diya, which is like a nice V in the front, with the Ganesha sitting on the back side. So here is the flattened cup shape, and here, as you can see, naturally the V is coming along. So that portion is going to be the front of the diya. Now I'm going to keep it on some flat surface so I can have a nice firm base, and I'm lifting the sides of the diya and working it, shaping it up, keeping the flat bottom, raising the sides to make it look like a diya, and making sure it is large enough for the Ganesha. Just pinch the front to make it look like a diya. Over here, just pinch it slightly to bring the V. And I think that's a good enough shape and size for the Ganesha to sit. Let's try. Now if I make the Ganesha sit right there, there is enough space. There is a lot of space around him, so I can shape it up a little more. Or if you don't want the front to be sharp nosed, you can leave it flat, because you might want to put in the little lighted candlelight inside over there in front of your Ganesha to make it look like a diya. So you can either have it just like a cup or slightly pointed like a diya. But if you see, the sides are raised over here to make it look like a diya, and I'll show you around the back as well. Remember, because this is still not dry, it is really soft and it's still moldable. Once you leave it like this out in the air for a day, it's going to become hard. And here is the back of the diya where Ganesha is sitting inside comfortably, and here is the front of the diya with the little tea-light candle in it, so you can light your diya right there. Now the next step, I'm going to show you a few decorations or colors with markers that you can do on the white diya to make it look prettier. Now here I'm going to start decorating the white diya with nice bright colorful markers. So I'm just putting a few dots. As you can see, it takes in and soaks in the color really well. Do you see the dots? So you can use any color that you want. Just a few colorful dots and designs, and maybe the tip, a nice V at the tip. Remember, it is still very soft, it is not dry, so it's going to keep changing the shape. So be very careful when you're doing the decorations. Don't press it too hard or else you're going to change the shape. Now in between the blue, I'm using some orange dots. You can always stick any embellishments you have, little pieces of jewelry, those sparkles or stuff like that. You can always do those decorations as well. Now towards the edge over here, let's do some purple. Maybe I've kept it on a little piece of cardboard so I can move it around easily without the diya, the Model Magic, sticking to the table. And around the edge on the back side, dots are the easiest designs that you can do on Model Magic, because again, the same reason, it is soft and you cannot really draw much designs on it because it's going to change the shape if you're going to stretch and draw lines on it. So here we have very simple design on the Model Magic, or you can even color it after it dries with the marker. So right now I have just dots and these two lines to show the front, and it is big enough for me to keep the little diya, tea-light diya, inside. And there your Ganesha diya for Diwali is all ready and done. Now, if you have extra Model Magic, you can always do a few extra designs. Like this is also done of Model Magic, which is colored with Crayola markers actually. And there is another little elephant Ganesha diya. So just a few more ideas if you have time, and if you still have Model Magic, you can do some more designs. And for those who are using Sculpey, I have one right here. This Ganesha diya is made of Sculpey. So Sculpey is hard and you need to bake it before you can actually color it. So this one is made and baked with the regular terracotta colored Sculpey, and you can always color it later on. So that is this. So just a few variations to show you. Hope you all enjoyed making the diya. Bye bye now, and happy Diwali to everyone.